the notification bell. I'm Rob. I do live news commentary every weekday, Monday through Friday. Even when America finally catches up with the modern world and goes to a 3-day work week, I'll still be coming to you every weekday. Let's catch up. How you been? How are things? How's your Monday? Hopefully it's fantastic. Let me tell you this. I've said for a while now that I believe after the age of 55. Because I've said 50, I've said 60. But I believe after the age of 55, you should have to take an on-road license test again. Because what I just witnessed trying to come home in the traffic was absolutely surreal. Almost a double accident with the same dude. Just unreal. Hey, what's up, Zach? How's Croatia? How's the weather out in Croatia? It's 72 here in Massachusetts. 72 and hot. But I think after tomorrow it's going to rain for like 8 days in a row. So hope you guys as a country are getting ready for, I forget his name, the big singer that's going to come and sing for you. Sunny so far. What's your favorite Croatian beach? I'd like to know that. So anyways, I'm driving home, right? And this guy, we're merging off the highway. That's the funny thing. In Massachusetts, I don't know where you live, if there's traffic lights to let you know when it's okay to merge off the highway. In Massachusetts, there's no traffic lights merging you on and off the highway. But when I lived in California, they would have yellow, red, and green, or it was just yellow and green, or yellow and red. I forget. But they had like traffic lights because people don't know how to merge. Merging is easy. Like my buddy Birdie used to say, it's just like a zipper. That's all merging is. So this dude in front of me is merging off the highway and literally stops, waits. I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't see if he looked or not. But this guy just goes as soon as the car's pulling. So they literally almost crashed into each other. What's up, Bandito? We're catching up. What's good with you? What's good with you? You guys fill me in. What's going on? How's your Monday going? What do you got planned this week? I'm telling you about my ride home, and I see this guy, right? He's in this little Toyota 4-door thing, low to the ground. And in Massachusetts, there's no guiding lights to merge you on and off a highway. I always thought that was like bumpers in bowling when I lived in California, and they would have the merging lights. Like they would have traffic lights at the on-ramps and or just at the on-ramps. I think it's just at the on-ramps in California. I thought, what kind of babies can't merge onto a highway? Jesus. We have on Route 1 in Massachusetts going towards Boston, I think it's in Lynn or Chelsea, there is an on-ramp where literally you just there's no merging lane. Like you need to, if you don't have a car with good pickup, you better pray to the good Lord that you can get on that highway. Because some of these on-ramps in Massachusetts, remember, this was not a city built for cars. This was a city built for horses. Even when they built the highways, they were like, fuck it, we're still going horse style. And I had to do it this weekend going into Boston. And you just literally, you're right there at the highway. You just got to get your car up to 60 real quick. Greetings from, what's up? Your name's Croatia, but you're from Australia. Nice to meet you. We got another member of the coalition, the family, the community from Croatia in here. So hello, Australia. Hello, Croatia. Phoenix Sky, how are you? Catching up. What is everybody up to? We're going to talk about AI is going to replace everybody's job. The Pope, the President, movies, the info videos that you need to watch at work. Everything. AI is going to replace everything. We'll talk about that. Oh, what's up, Canada? Nice to see you. My apologies for everything America's done. My apologies. Please don't take us as one representative. I love Canada. So anyways, I was just catching up. What are you guys up to? I was letting you guys know that coming home, this guy almost merged directly into somebody else, right? But when he started pulling up, I was going with him. But instead of him, like, you know, you figure if he knows that if he's pulling out, he's gonna catch up to speed, but he didn't. So they both slow down at the same time. So I was stuck slamming on my brakes, and I said, "Have you ever been in the car and somebody drives so crazy? What's up, Renato? You ever been driving and somebody does something so nuts that you go, I have to see what this motherfucker looks like. I have to see. I gotta put a face to this kind of behavior. I don't know if I'm unique like that, but I had to. And sometimes if somebody drives insanely enough, I have to pull up next to them. I have to. I gotta look at them. I need to see who acts like that in public. I need to see it. So I pull up next to this guy at the light, and I'm like, you know, I'm like, what is it? I thought it was a child. I'm going to be very honest. I couldn't see their head, like, so I figured they're low. You know, I said, maybe it's like a 14-year-old stole a car, doesn't know how to drive, almost got in 2 accidents, almost made me rear end them, and hit the car next to him. Like, just a total mess of a driver, right? And I pull up, and it's an old guy. It's an old guy. And if you've subbed to the channel for any amount of time, you understand that I've said since I was on the radio, we're talking decades. For decades, I've said once you turn 60, you need to take a driver's license test on the road again. And I'll amend it. I'll say 55. Because I think you could do a good campaign, a good ad campaign, a PR, a public service campaign with the song I Can't Drive 55. And you could redo the lyrics and tell people once they turn 55, they got to take an on-road driver's test. What's up, Solus? When someone passed me, you proceeded to go slower. Oh, yeah. Well, that's just the jerk move. That's when somebody's being a jerk. You get in front of them and you slow down. I might have been guilty of that once or twice. Yeah, they were absolutely trying to just annoy you. So anyway, I've always said, for the life of me, because old people are dangerous. I've been hit by old people in parking lots more times than I can count. Okay? In parking lots. Like a place where it should be safer, and these motherfuckers hit me. So I think once you turn 55, you need to take your license test again, because the way this dude was driving, it just confirmed it. Every time I see some crazy ish happen, it's usually somebody who is much, much older or somebody very young. Either way, if you are young or old, I'm staying away from you on the road. And that's just a public service announcement for everybody. Driver's box out 2-lane highways in Pacific Northwest. They box out the 2-lane highways? See, and then you got some people who they're either bored or they like making other people miserable, and they'll do that. They'll drive in a way where you're like, can I get around you? And just remember, folks, there's nothing worth having road rage, so please don't. Like I had to do this weekend when somebody was being a jerk and I was driving, I had to give them the thumbs down. And I didn't know if they see me, but in the rear view, they seen a dude doing that. So, you know, no middle fingers, keep it tempered, but give them the thumbs down. What's wrong with Renato? I don't see what's going on. What are you mad for? That's a weird question. Anyways, so I almost seen a double accident today coming home, and I thought, what a way to try to wrap up a Monday. The other thing that I wanted to bring up while we're catching up, before we get into the news, we'll get into the news, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell, is the one thing I love about Massachusetts, and I'd be curious to know, Canada, quiet one, Croatia, Zach, or Croatia, Canada, I would be or Australia, sorry, I'd be curious to know how it is in your neighborhoods. But one thing I love about Massachusetts is any convenience store, any corner store, any Cumbies. We call them Cumbies because we have Cumberland Farms here, so everybody calls it Cumbies. But any like convenience store that you go to in Massachusetts, you could walk into any store and they're always playing Keno. There's always at least 1 to 2 dudes playing Keno. Keno is a gambling game. The numbers pop up every 2 to 3 minutes, I think, if you don't know. Because that was the other thing that shocked me when I moved to California, and Hawaii, that they didn't have Keno in every convenience store around. Because here, it doesn't matter. You can go to the convenience store. I'm pretty sure some grocery stores have Keno playing. So you could play Keno almost anywhere in Massachusetts. We are severe gambling addicts. But You can walk into any convenience store anywhere, and people will treat you like you were the main character in Cheers. It is so funny because I walked in today and I know the dude behind the counter, so I was like, yo, let me get this. And the guy goes, oh, that's a good one. And he had this like thick accent. And he starts talking to me. And before I left, I was like, all right, boys, have some good luck today, huh? Because they were all sitting around the table playing Keno. And they're like, all right, thanks, we'll see you tomorrow. And I was like, I've never met these people in my life. And within 3 minutes, they were all acting like, we're extended family. It's so funny. Oregon has virtual slot machines everywhere. Oh, that is weird as hell. Especially because, like, I'm not saying the Keno games are better, but something about virtual slot machines make me feel like they are all rigged and that they never pay out. You know what I mean? The slot machines in general, I just have a sus, as the kids say, feeling about it. But if you ever come to Massachusetts, I highly encourage you to go off the beaten path, go down a lone road, go to a convenience store, and just when guys are playing Keno, say something like, good luck, or your numbers come up. You could say anything random like that, and people will treat you like family. It's so weird. I love it. Listen, that's one of the things I love about Massachusetts, but it is so weird that people you never met before will, like, they'll love you if you start telling them good luck, how's it going? I mean, I've seen people that haven't had numbers come up and probably spent most of their money and, they don't want to talk, but for the majority of the time, quiet one. Keno, across the street from gas station near me, never seen one in a convenience store. We have it in restaurants, any Chinese food, any restaurant, bar, convenience store, grocery store. I'm surprised they don't have it at Walmart or Target, but I'm surprised. Like, they're probably lobbying for it. And that's no joke. Everywhere in Massachusetts. Soulless. I heard the ones with the entrance allow more winners so people walk in and see the winning. Oh, I believe that. All right, so let's talk about a little bit of news before I get too carried away. But those two things happened on the way home, and I thought it's so fun. Man, I love Massachusetts. I love that you can walk into any convenience store and the guy's playing Keno in the corner. You ask him, how's the draws coming? How's your numbers, huh? And they'll all, and I say, good luck, boys. And they all love you. Everybody goes, hey, all right. You feel like you goddamn Ted Danson walking out of there. Everybody's cheering. All right, thank you. You too. Oh, it's so funny. It's so funny. It should be a tourist destination in itself. Come to Massachusetts to go to the convenience store Keno tables. Holy sh... So anyways, I just want to share that with you because I don't know what it's like in your part of the world, but those are the little things that I always took for granted, thought it was everywhere, and then slowly realized as I moved around the country, oh shit, we are very, very unique. As you can, at 2 p.m. in the afternoon, you could go see a table full of guys playing Keno, just hanging out. All right, so on YouTube, we don't have that here. Exact good. It's probably healthier that you don't. That's the thing that bugs me. Out of all the promotional stuff for Keno and gambling, underneath all of it says, if you or a loved one are addicted, call this number. And I'm like, of course we're addicted. Why do you think all the promotional stuff is surrounding you? You grow up thinking it's normal. It's wild. And people at those machines are pretty locked in. They keep to themselves from what I see. Oh, that's interesting, quiet one. Yeah, so I'm here in Massachusetts. You start up a conversation like you've been lifelong friends with an absolute stranger. No joke. Because when I left and all those guys were playing Keno, you would have thought I'd known them forever the way they, said goodbye to me. And I just enjoyed it. It made my day. It's the little things that count, folks. So anyway, so listen, story down below. There's stuff about Trump appointing AI. He fired the head of the copyright office in the government right when they were using AI to train on copywritten material. But what I really wanted to talk about is something you might have experienced if you're on YouTube often. There is a YouTube channel called Screen Culture. There's another one called Screen Something. And there's a third one, I forget. Screen Culture is the one I know because that's the one that's tricked me. And I did not realize that they that they were breaking YouTube rules, but it always made sense to me because Screen Culture is a huge, they have like over 1 million subs, and they've tricked me before because they will put out trailers, movie trailers, to movies that like were just announced. I'll never forget when Doctor Doomsday, Avengers Doomsday or whatever with Robert Downey Jr. And I thought, God damn, is Disney indebted? Is Marvel indebted to Robert Downey Jr. or something? Like, why are they using him for everything? But when they announced that, I'm pretty sure Screen Culture had a movie trailer for Avengers Doomsday like that afternoon. And it was insane because it got me. You know, you see the thumbnail and you click on it, and then like 30 seconds in, not even, you're like, oh, this whole thing's AI. This is really creepy and weird, and you stop watching it, or at least I did. And they've done that with many movies, like movies where you're like, oh shit, they're making E.T. 2? I gotta see this. Or, you know, whatever it is. They'll be like, you know, we're making Star Wars 7. Return of the Jedi Sith, and you're like, damn, I gotta see this trailer. When I didn't know this was announced. And for people out of the loop, sometimes you get tricked into clicking on it, and they get the click and the view, and it turns out what they've been doing was against the guidelines because they've been using AI material on copyrighted content. And after an investigation by, was it The Verge? I forget. It's whoever. It might not be The Verge. That was a different article I think I linked. But whatever I linked in the description, they did a Deadline. Deadline did a whole investigation into the channel, and it turns out YouTube suspended them in March. And I thought, that's wild, because if I did that once, right? I used a clip-it of a Batman movie once, and I spliced it with the vampire Jared Leto movie, and I did a whole parody. So I didn't use any of the audio. I had the stuff sped up, and I was voicing the characters because I was making fun of it. And they pulled my thing, like they pulled my card so quick. And I thought, that's so funny that because they're a big channel, because Marvel and Sony and all, Disney or whoever probably just like was taking the money. You know how if like they use your character or your copywritten stuff, they don't strike you, but they'll just share in the wealth. But I don't know how these big channels, I think it's, you know, favoritism, cronyism. They're just like, yeah, we're all making money. You know, you're a big channel. Everybody's okay with it because you're getting clicks, you're getting views, and we're all making money. And I think it's suspect, especially because Deadline's investigation led them to suspending the channel. But the bigger repercussions outside of them, like, you know, if I did some AI Dr. Doom video, they would pull the plug on me in a heartbeat. Outside of that kind of corruption and like that kind of favoritism against big creators versus small creators, I mean, if art is art, you should just allow it on your platform, YouTube. Why you got to come after the little guys because we're not making the money for you? But it's really terrifying. And SAG-AFTRA even released the statement that, you know, this is probably giving Marvel and all these other fat cats ideas of like, well, what if we just make the movie trailers without the people, without their consent? And it's a tricky situation that we're facing, that we're heading to. AI has already ruined old folks. It is. I mean, look, Photoshop ruined the president. He thought the Photoshop on the tattoo knuckled was real. Photoshop's getting the president. AI, the good thing is little kids and kids, you know, I say kids, but I mean people under 30, they can spot it, I feel like, much better. The stuff getting passed around on Facebook is wild. Oh, Bandito, we need to have a live stream where we go through that stuff. I'm not on Facebook, but I've heard it's raucous and repugnant. And AI, I mean, it's tricky. I get it's tricky, but the reason I don't use it, and I should, or I don't know, I feel like everybody uses it, and I just have this moral dilemma on using it. I will, and I have, but I mean, like, as much as people do in this field, and I think people do without letting it be known sometimes. And if I do, you know, usually I'm very much for, like, hey, saying, you know, this is AI. You should be letting people know. And I mean, clearly, not in the small print, in the fine print. But I don't know. It's a weird situation because you think about once these companies figure out, well, we could just make the art on our own. We could just make it without these actors. It becomes a soulless world. Not as in soulless, the fam, but I mean, when you watch that AI art, I don't know if anybody else has that feeling. Every time I watch it, I feel like it's very soulless. It's devoid of any kind of heartbeat that art creation content usually has. It's a lacking that je ne sais quoi, that if you're looking in the eyes, they're not windows to the soul, they're like windows to the void, a liminal void. I don't use it, I never heard anything about it. Traveling soul, me too, yeah. No, Facebook, I think they just pass around images. The images, which I've seen because people have done videos on the AI images, which is funny because sometimes it's like, that's clearly AI, but you know, old folks aren't thinking that. You got to remember that AI is like very prominent in the virtual space right now, to be looking for it, to keep an eye out for it. And I mean, it's tricky. And what I really don't like is the people in power. Like when the campaign was going, they were doing AI to make Kamala art and all this stuff. And it's weird when people who have a lot of power use it in a propaganda-ish way. So, I mean, it just sucks. You know, the people who are leading this country should not be over 50. I'm sorry. I know that's going to piss people off. But with the technology we have today, you got to have some young folks in there to be able to discern it, to have lived and experienced it for a while, to know what kind of regulations it needs. But I don't like artists being put out of work. I'm a firm believer that you should hit subscribe and the notification bell. But I'm a firm believer that this technology, the advancements in technology, should be to make our lives easier, not to replace our artists. I don't want to read AI poetry. Sorry. I don't want to hear a robot's take on a fucking beautiful morning and the dew on a rose, you know? It's soulless. And I don't mean you soulless, sorry. Oh, like the AI videos of celebrities saying things they actually said, yeah. Like the deep fakes, but deep fakes just not done by humans, just totally created by AI. I mean, there's room for comedy in this. There is, but I'm pretty sure once the comedy gets real good and like Luigi-esque funny, they'll regulate it. You know, as soon as it challenges authority, they'll be like, oh, we'll figure out how to regulate this very easily. Do you know about the Zizian gang criminal case? No, I don't. I'll have to look it up, Bandito. I do not, but I will have to look that up. Can you throw it in the Discord? Oh, by the way, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. We have a Discord as well where we can communicate outside of the live streams. Hit subscribe and notification bell. I go live 5 days a week. And all of us, Soulless, all the fam, the coalition that we are building here together, movement to have a better world, we are all there. So if you want to communicate with us or myself, we have a book club, we have YouTube recommendations, we have a ton of stuff in there, life advice, everything. So join the Discord, link in the description. Oh, yeah, we got a chess channel. I love chess. I just saw that. I was going to play this weekend, but I was very busy this weekend. The oldest daughter graduated from Northeastern, so congrats to all the Northeastern grads. Congrats. Oh, that's what, you know what, tomorrow I want to catch you up on some stuff that I found very interesting this weekend. I had some problems with. I had to text my daughter while she's, you know, in her cap and gown down with all her friends. I said, don't listen to these people. These people are selling you the wrong message. I got very angry I don't like when the leaders tell you shit that isn't important in life. You know, they're distractions. Hello, mate. What's up? Alan Maraschino Cherries. Sorry to pronounce that wrong. Watch Noir Jasmine on YouTube. I'll link in Discord. Thank you, Bandito. Yeah, and if you want to follow along with the stuff in the Discord, link down below. You can join that. I appreciate it if you do. Soulless helped build it out, so we put a lot of work into it. He put a lot of work into it, and it's a really cool little spot outside of YouTube. So yeah, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you guys for joining me. It is Monday, so I gotta wrap up. I will see you guys tomorrow, probably later in the day. And that's the other thing. If you got any suggestions for content that we can cover here on the live news commentary, newsmentary, you can drop it in the Discord. We have a news feature in there as well. Mirali, how is it? How are ya? Hey, how are ya? Alan, Boston is hot right now. Hot as anything. 72 out. My goodness. I just want some spring. We've had a nice spring, but I just want those 50-degree days. That's why I wish there was a place on this spinning sphere of radically moving particles where it was just fall. We have places that's the one thing. Listen, if I got a critique for God, here's my one critique. Oh, I got a few, but here's one of them. God, you made places that it's always winter. You made places that it's always summer, but you did not make any places that is always fall. We have places that it's always spring. The rainforest is almost always spring because it's always kind of sunny, but can get rainy and cold. But there is no place on God's green earth where it's just fall, where it's sweater season all year round, and you can always trick or treat every month. That is my critique. Like next Earth 2, we need a part somewhere on the equator or one of the tropics where you can visit and it's constantly fall. It's always windows open at night temperature, and during the day it gets warm enough for shorts. That's what we need. Oh, what's up, CJ? Yeah, summer's coming too fast. Good to see you, CJ. You're jumping in right at the end. I'm about to wrap it up, but I was giving a critique. I was critiquing God on this earth. There's a lot of them. Don't get me wrong. Healthcare is a human right. We should pay people enough to buy a house. Anyone that works 40 hours a week, you should be able to survive. There is no fucking unskilled labor or starting jobs or any of that bullshit. Anybody who works a full-time job, you should be able to afford to live with the proper recreation. That means vacation and paid time off. But outside of those critiques, God, you need a place on earth where it's always fall. We have place on earth, always summer. Place on earth, always winter. Place on earth, it's always kind of spring. There is no place on earth where it is, hey, what's up, Bob? Tamuno Minini. I am sorry. I even went to your YouTube channel last week to watch some of your videos, but also to try and pronounce that name. I'm going to get it right one of these days, okay? I promise you. That is my word. I have to. Plus, it's such an amazing name. It truly is. That is a radical name, and I respect it, and my apologies for not getting it correct. Yet. Always teach your kids that. When they say, I can't do it, you say, yet. All right, guys. So, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I hope you all join me tomorrow, and I hope you have a great rest of the Monday. Much love. Peace.